You, on the other hand, are Ashley Babbitt, but gay, okay? Smug, gay Ashley Babbitt. I think China is the ultimate horseshoe theory issue. There's like this dude in Taylor Lorenz aligned with MAGA, but nobody else. Dude, there is perhaps no better indication that Nate Silver is so out of touch than to confidently express his opinions on an application that's being used by 170 million Americans. Nate Silver, I'm willing to entertain the idea that there are two incredibly popular sentiments in the United States of America. If I were to show your photo to 170 million Americans, I'm sure that a big chunk of them would be open to killing you with hammers. Okay? That and preserving TikTok. Who do you think is more popular? Fucking Nate Silver or TikTok being used by 170 million Americans? If I were to present TikTok on the one hand, Nate Silver on the other to 330 million Americans, and I was like, you will save TikTok, you get to have your treats, you don't care about anything else, you just only care about treats, right? You will get to preserve TikTok, you will get to save your, small business that you've operated on TikTok, which is 7 million of Americans, right? But you have to kill this man with a hammer. So many people would say yes to that. Like, can you imagine this fucking asshole being like, nobody wants to like defend TikTok, dude. It's just like Taylor Lorenz and Nathan J. Robinson. It's like, dude, it's not even remotely popular to ban TikTok, man. You're the stat guy. You're the fucking stat guy. How do you say stuff like this? Stop being embarrassed. The xenophobia is in thinking China is bent on global domination, literally an irrational fear of China, very definition of the term. What exactly are you afraid of China doing, Nate? And can you connect it directly to the working class in America? What are you talking about? I don't believe it's accurate to characterize China as bent on global domination. I'm aligned with MAGA. Even though one of my prime criticisms of the Trumpian right is their fearmonger about China, the point here is baffling. The thing I just genuinely despise about these fucking demons is they're so locked in on their worldview. They just never actually open the window to look outside. This guy, Matty Iglesias, like all these people that have motion within the Democratic Party, within like the liberal halls of intelligentsia, are so unimaginably out of touch and so confident, so smug in their stupidity. It blows my mind. Like, the aftermath of this election should have been a moment of feeling a little ashamed of yourself, right? And what did Matty Iglesias do? At least Nate Silver was like offering Trump's chances as a much higher likelihood all the way until the very last second. So like respect to him on that front, but especially Matty Iglesias, right? Matty Iglesias verbatim got every single thing he wanted out of the Kamala Harris campaign. And then he didn't waste a single moment immediately saying they didn't go, they went too far left. What's really frustrating about this process, putting together a team so I lose every election. What's really, really frustrating about this process to me is that there is this veneer of intellectualism present in the halls of liberal intelligentsia, right? Like the likes of the No Opinion, or the likes of Matty Iglesias. Like all these guys, they have this air, this confidence, this intellect that they put forth. They're like, I'm well read. I know what's going on. I know what's up. You have to listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. But their zealotry, their ideological zealotry for third-way neoliberalism, and not even third-way neoliberalism necessarily, but like whatever the Democratic Party is saying they want to do, these guys will be institutional defenders of no matter what, unconditionally, especially Matty Iglesias. Like that kind of zealotry and brown-nosing causes them to be wrong all the time. And there are a lot of these people. There are a lot of these people out there, like the Reddit neoliberals, who are just like, I have no politics of my own. I just will always defend the Democratic Party unconditionally, no matter what, even if they lose all the time. If they lose, then, well, true democratic liberalism hasn't been tried, right? They do this over and over and over again. And it's frustrating because they are so devoid of any sort of real conviction, right? And simply are just trying to play catch up and defend the Democratic Party's ineptitude and incompetence, they are no different, in my opinion, than the QAnon supporters are. The very same QAnon supporters who are anti-vaxxers, who are absolute dumbasses, right? Like these guys who are just so stupid. Oh, they don't believe in real information and empirical evidence. Like, excuse me, here's my Brookings Institute research. Like, you do all of this, and then your output is just as fucking stupid as Ashley Babbitt. Like, how do you live with yourself? You engage in the same thought-terminating cycles that these guys do. It makes me so mad. The only difference is that Ashley Babbitt and her kind, okay, are mouth-breathing fucking morons that everybody understands are stupid and not well-read. You, on the other hand, are Ashley Babbitt, but gay, okay? Smug, gay Ashley Babbitt. That is the way I see a lot of these, like, neoliberal thinkers, okay? Just as delusional, just as committed to the ideological zealotry, but a little bit better read, knows how to use larger words, and also smug and gay. Very annoying. In Babbitt's case, not only mind-altering, but life-changing. Yeah. Methinks you don't... Yeah, exactly. Methinks you don't actually really understand politics. You just don't understand, silly. How can you build a coalition when there are simply people who are at odds with the agenda of the administration? I don't know. Jail them. No one ever asked Trump how he builds his caucus, okay? No one ever goes, hey, how is Trump gonna build his fucking caucus? No one asked that question, okay? He just whips him into shape. What do you mean we got 10 different senators from Maggie Hasan all the way to now John Fetterman, who's joined those ranks as well, to the likes of Joe Manchin. Oh, they're just going to always play the role of the spoiler. Nothing we can do. Jail them. Throw them in jail. Okay? Make them play ball. I don't care. There are many different ways in which a competent administrative state can enforce its agenda. This is the agenda that people voted for democratically. If you care about democracy, you're going to make those fuckers vote for these bills that the people want, that they demand, that they voted for, that will genuinely improve their material condition. Even if you're not going to jail them, remove them from their committee positions so they can no longer entertain, wine and dine, or get wined and dined by fucking lobbyists, okay? Remove the crumb of power they have. Oh, Hasan, West Virginia is a plus 35 red state. If Joe Manchin isn't there, we're just going to lose that. Okay, fine. We lost it anyway. He's there for the right votes. He's there for the appointments. He's there for the court appointments. You simply don't understand the minutia of politics. I do. He's there for the court appointments. He's going to be there for the agenda. And if he's not there for the agenda, he's no longer going to sit on the fucking energy committee. You think Joe Manchin would get this level of clout and prominence if he was just another inbred hick fucking Republican senator from West Virginia? Of course not. Oh, he might flip parties. No, he has no motion in the Republican Party. The only time he has motion is if he plays the role of a spoiler in the Democratic Party. So fucking make him commit to the goddamn Democratic Party. This is not that crazy of a statement, okay? Same with cinema. Economies grow until they die, but before they do, they try to cling on by making splinter economies, i.e. TikTok. The economy relies on it to stay afloat. They're born, they grow, they make babies, they die. For babies to be made, somebody has to be fucked. Andy Weir. In this case, the government is getting fucked and doesn't like it. Figuratively jailed, right? Like, fuck off out of the party or really send them to jail as political prisoners. Honestly, you don't want to know what my actual opinion is. Actually, you know what? I'll say it. Okay? My opinion is that every politician is riddled, filled to the brim with a litany of different conflicts of interest that put them directly in the crosshairs of a multitude of different federal regulatory agencies. So I simply say, if someone is not playing ball, Chinese Communist Party style, utilize the regulatory agencies to make them remember that they are a real American citizen after all. Because if the average American citizen engages in the same conflicts of interest, whether it be insider trading, trading on not publicly available information, for example, they go to jail. So why not send Joe Manchin to jail? Why not send Nancy Pelosi to jail? You have that power. Oh, I'm sorry. The average Americans have to abide by the law, but our politicians don't? What a ridiculous situation. If your daughter is caught price gouging insulin in the state that you are the senator of, she goes to jail and you get investigated for your involvement in the affairs. Why let this corruption run rampant if you're not going to use that corruption to push for your influence? What is the slippery slope argument? If you don't want to go to jail, don't do crimes, okay? Virtually every politician is so corrupt to the bone that we have basically decided, like, yeah, they're all corrupt. What are you going to do about it? Basically, what's happening in Mexico, in order to get the judicial reforms passed, to get judges elected by the people, the ruling Morena party cut a deal with a corrupt senator to vote in favor of it. What do you think about that kind of practice? Good. What do you mean? Cutting a deal with a corrupt senator? Oh my God. You think I would care if we got some of the worst scumbags on board with Medicare for all, for example? It's not a direct equivalent here. Okay, let's say the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is an inherently undemocratic and flawed institution. Okay? Let's say in order to abolish the Supreme Court, okay, and make people directly vote for Supreme Court justices going forward, you need legislation to be put in place. And in order to get that legislation with a filibuster-proof majority, you have to go to some of the biggest racist Republicans to vote in favor of it. You think I'm going to say no? You think I'm going to say, oh, man, we can't do that. These guys are bad politicians. They're bad people. I don't care. Same with Medicare for all. In order to get a filibuster-proof majority for Medicare for all, we're going to have to get some politicians that are really right-wing on board, okay, without making any concessions to them whatsoever. Okay, great. I don't care. The Mexico situation is even better than Chatter said. More than cut a deal, they threatened him with jail. It's awesome because the senator was omega corrupt. There you go. Wait, so they are doing what I was saying. Never mind. They were already using prison as an alternative. My point is that the deal was this senator was basically getting investigated for corruption and bound for jail. So the deal was stay out of jail as long as you vote for us. Oh, great. Yeah, no, awesome. I mean, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying that Biden should do. If politics is the art of what's possible, okay, and we're already making corrupt deals with awful charlatans on a regular basis to do untold amounts of evil all around the globe and to our own fellow Americans, then why not do it in favor of something good for once? That's why, even on Pod Save America, I said, if there was a genuinely committed, real social democrat, doesn't have to even be a socialist, a real social democrat that is going to socialize key sectors and improve the material conditions of the American public, I would be the number one regime defender. Okay? That's it. And that's me being pragmatic. I wouldn't turn around and be like, well, actually, they're not implementing, they're not developing a militant Marxist-Leninist vanguard party, so I'm not on board. Like, there are plenty of people who would say that. Not me. Not me. I'm down. I mean, look, I glaze China all the time for good things that they do. If the American government was doing similar things in terms of like even development, in terms of massive infrastructure projects, in terms of building a network of high-speed rail, greatly improving public transit, genuinely improving the social safety nets, I would be a regime defender. That's it. It's that simple.